and now we're going to get on to our second guest of the show. And this is this gal's third time on the show. I love it. We're getting everyone addicted to podcasting. She was with us for body image, pregnancy, and now it's going to be the chapter finale for Miss Kristen's motherhood. So how's it going, girl? How are you?
It is going really good. How are you?
I'm so good. I just friggin' love that I'm just like learning your whole entire life through this podcast. It's freaking great.
Oh, I don't even need to write a biography anymore. Everyone will know
Yeah.
about it.
I just like, okay, what's the next step? I need to know more. I got to this. I'm kind of like on a cliffhanger from the last episode. How was the last one talking about pregnancy?
Good.
Reliving those moments.
It's funny because it brought back a lot of memories, but at the same time, I still feel like I don't remember anything.
Right?
So long ago.
I had a couple responses back about this episode. It was like, I think this is what happened, but my memory's blurred. And I'm like, I feel like those that have gone through that are gonna understand that. So that's okay. Whatever your memory put together as its memory, like we'll live through that story. That's allowed. It's yours.
Exactly, right?
That's so awesome. So to get started and to pick up from your pregnancy episode, for your due date, were you on time? Were you overdue? I don't remember if we ended up talking about it, but let's discuss that now.
He was 2 days overdue. So he was due December 29th.
Oh, right. We did
Wait,
talk
what
about
does
this.
December go till? 31.
31, 31. Yeah, New Year's.
He was due the 30th. There you go. She does math really well.
That's awesome. So that's really friggin' accurate.
Yeah, actually, yeah, he was 2 days overdue, and which is funny because he almost got induced a whole month early.
Oh, wow. And that was
So,
that for any particular reason?
yeah, when like I was talking about with my pregnancy is the my whole appendix
Right. Yeah.
debacle where my stomach wasn't well. I'm accusing my appendix and the doctor being a jerk, but yeah, when my stomach didn't grow, they were all like, "Yeah, let's induce," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'm cool with this."
Ew.
No, I wasn't.
It's so funny in the time where you're just like go along and then all of a sudden you like something sets in or something clicks and you're just like, okay, hold on, what? Maybe I was just like, maybe I jumped the gun on that.
Yep.
Maybe I shouldn't have been so excited. So now obviously we know that I don't know much about birth plans and all that, but did you? I did actually learn that birth plans are a thing, and now this makes sense. Being me, Kayla's neurotic. She was the one that told me she's neurotic and she needed this, and I'm like slightly neurotic. So I'm like, okay, this is making sense. So a birth plan, did you have one at all?
No.
See, that's what I mean. I'm like, I didn't know until this episode.
Yeah, see, like I knew a lot of people did. All I knew is, to have your diaper bag ready and the car seat ready. Who knew you needed the car seat ready? Funny story, we forgot our car seat when I went into labor. But so you have like the certain things that you need for once baby's born. But as far as like an actual birth plan, oh no, I was 21 years old and I was
That's totally fair. Like I just got a new car and
yeah,
I'm going to school. Um okay, now we're going to have a baby. But I mean, hey, you at least you had a car seat and things are going to be happening that, you know, fair, very fair. You forget those in the moment. I like I said, I feel like I definitely if I ever go through that, my mom's going to have to hold my hand the whole entire way.
right. Yeah, I wish I had my mommy for it.
Right? Like I feel like I already forget everything as a normal human being, let alone mom brain when you have to go to the hospital.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's like next level. What the
And weren't you guys out for dinner too or something? And you were there
yeah,
was a joke about it. So it's like you were guys really like I mean you knew it was happening, but at the same time you're also just like enjoying life, enjoying the festivities, the holidays. It was just, like not like you're sitting at home in that perfect spot, like in your jammies waiting for it. You're in, real life mode.
yeah. I was at the casino. As horrible as that sounds,
Yeah, that's what
but
it was.
yeah, I was out. Yeah, I was out for dinner because the casino had on whatever nights, Thursday nights or whatever it was. Yeah, chicken and rib, 2 for 1 chicken and rib nights. We're like, fuck yeah, we don't know the next time we're gonna get to enjoy this shit. So why the fuck
Now,
not?
now is the last time.
Yeah, yeah, it
Right now.
really was. And it's funny because I think I was 2 days overdue as well when my mom was pregnant with me. So we always joked that that's what would happen.
Oh my gosh. And it did.
Yeah, it did.
And you're like, we don't, okay, but we were just kidding. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
It's
if
a
that's the
joke.
case, I want $1 million. What? Why
Right.
is it?
Just kidding.
Oh, it doesn't work for that? Oh, okay, cool. Just for things like this. Awesome. Cool. Right
Yeah.
on. So then that kind of nullifies the next question. Then when baby came, did you successfully follow through with your birth plan? That being said, let's go through your childbirth. Was it cesarean or vaginal?
It was vaginal.
Nice. How'd that go?
Horrible.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna
I'm
straight up
allowed to be I'm allowed to
horrible.
be ignorant, not of going through it. So sorry I'm not as sensitive.
You know what? It's yeah, like so you heal faster
Fair.
vaginally, right? Because you're
Yep.
not cut open. Right, like if you have a cesarean, like I never did have one, but like my cousin had one
Mhm.
the year before me, and she had told me how she was actually strapped to the table and stuff like that, and I was like, fuck that, like I will lose my shit, like I can't
Ooh.
be strapped to a table, like no.
Yeah, that's an
So like
interesting.
basically the only, I guess yeah, the only thing in my birth plan was no F and C-section.
You're pushing this thing out your hooter no matter what you think.
Yeah, yeah, but at the same time I was like, but I don't want to be stretched out.
Yeah, fair, right? So
I'm
it's
like
just
losing either way, winning both ways, whatever. But yeah, no, fuck yeah.
that's totally
It
fair.
hurt a lot. I I tore. Like, yeah.
Well, you're also like 21 too, like and like probably at that point like you're a small human, like I feel like as we age, things kind of like grow womanly, hormonally, as much. And 21's a young age. Not young age, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no, I was, yeah, very
my hips are
well
way huger now.
together. You know what? It's funny because I always joked about me having childbearing hips
Yeah, I
growing
was just gonna
because
say,
I do. I have hips. Like I am pear
right.
shaped, like legitimately. Like I said, the skinniest I was like, my top part was like a 4, my waist was like a 6, and then my hips are a 10, and I'm like, motherfucker.
And then there's those people that have like no hips are like, oh, I just want them.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
want your hourglass. Oh, bitches always want what they don't have. We're just the worst. Just kidding.
Right.
I
Nothing
was just
makes us
thinking how I was like at a really like awkward. I didn't get hips until like, as a teenager, but like 11 or 12, it's just like a super board straight. And you're just like, am I a tree? I must be a tree. I must have been
right.
born a tree.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
even like for pregnancy or whatever, like I have a friend that's pregnant right now, and she was talking about her first pregnancy and how her hips, like she could feel her hips widening, and I'm like, I I don't think mine moved.
no.
Pretty sure they stayed the same the whole time. But I was that pregnant lady that, if you were behind me, you're like, oh hey, look, and then it turns out it's like, whoa, belly.
Yeah. See, yeah. And so that I love that. It's like, you know, um, for me, I think too, I probably would widen. I don't know. It would be hard to say, but I think that would be kind of like, at least that was not a benefit, but at least that wasn't like a huge shocker to you. Cause like, it's fine. Like these hips were made for a baby.
Yep, they were.
That's fucking
Yeah, no,
perfect. And
like I
some
think
people
yeah,
fall
the only real bad part about the whole vaginally was the tearing, and then after I tore sideways.
Is that normal?
No, a lot of
Sorry.
people, a lot of people actually can rip right to their asshole. Fun fact.
Whoa.
So
Actually, I'm pretty sure that's what Kayla said. Her pussy to her asshole.
yeah, right. Like it's very common. No, I ripped sideways.
Interesting.
Yes.
Is
So
that because
after,
of how he was or?
you know what? I don't even fully know. A 21-year-old being knocked up and going to Edmonton, like they did not treat me well. I was just a stupid little young girl.
It's not
So
fair, but you see that, you feel that and see that a lot. And it's really another unfortunate of
yeah,
that.
it was kind of a piss off. But yeah, no, then they froze me and cut me downwards because that's the normal way. That's the way you want to rip if
Hmm.
you're gonna rip. So they cut, yeah. I'm always like, yeah, that's right. I was tight ass bitch, motherfuckers.
That's exactly it. You wear
My
that
only
with pride.
response to that is that.
So, with all that, were you medicated?
Yeah. So like when I went into labor, so fuck, I can't remember. It was like 5 hours into labor. I had went to the hospital and I got morphine, and then we were sent to Edmonton. Um, and then as soon as I got to Edmonton, they gave me more morphine, and then they were trying to ask me questions, And I was like, just can't fucking answer. I'm in so much fucking pain. Like, I want to fucking puke my guts out. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, do you want an epidural? I was like, yep. Yes, I do. Yep.
Yep.
Give it. Where's the papers?
Now,
Oh, yeah. Like,
yesterday.
literally, like within 5 minutes of having morphine, like, they're just like, holy fuck, yeah, we're gonna. Because, like, originally, I guess, yeah. Originally, I was actually supposed to, because I was living in White Court when I had my kid, and I was supposed to give birth in White Court unless there was going to be issues, which apparently my pain was the issue because the OR doctors go away during holidays.
Right, right. We
Because,
talked about
why would
this.
you want to be around for that?
Yeah. Babies don't
So,
get bored around then.
yeah. Even though people actually plan their births to be around New Year's so they get the free fucking shit for a year.
Yeah, that's right. I
Yeah,
there's always a race that I see. Well, I don't remember what movie, but there's a movie New Year's. Then they like are racing in that
oh yeah.
movie. It's fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
I actually learned that at the hospital. They're like, "Oh, maybe you're the first one. You're the first one to give birth here in our hospital for today." And then some lady's like, "Oh yeah, there's been two births already in this hospital and that hospital." He's like, "Oh darn, you could have got free stuff for a year." I'm like, "What?"
What? What? I would have pushed a lot harder earlier. Just kidding.
Yeah, like I only pushed for like 25 minutes.
Oh wow. So how long
So
was your labor then up leading up to that?
24 hours.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like at dinner, around 5 o'clock when
Yeah.
my old roommate scared me and I felt the twinge and I was like, no, fuck that. That's nothing. Um, I went home, went to the hospital at about it was like 10 or 11 o'clock. Like I was like, because mama didn't raise no bitch. So
No,
I was like,
def not.
I'm holding out for as long as possible. But then these, 5 minutes apart for like 2 hours straight. And I'm like, motherfucker. So we go to the hospital and they're like, oh, yeah, no, you're like barely dilated. And, it's going to be a while. I'm like, what?
That's not
What?
what I wanted to hear.
You mean I got to do this for longer? Oh, yeah,
Fucking
hon, you're
Christ.
like maybe 1 centimeter. Fuck this.
Good to
So,
know.
yeah, and then, so she's like, "Do you want morphine?" Like, no, no. Mama didn't raise no bitch. I'm going home. They're like, "Okay, well, here's some things to help you out. Try and make sure you breathe. Hot bath, shower, whatever, like different positions, stretching out, blah blah blah, all the stupid shit they tell you." Which I feel like none of it worked, but the bath actually did help. Like that was
Nice.
the only thing. But when you're fully pregnant and you're in like the stereotypical bathtubs, your belly sticks out.
Yeah, it's not probably the most comfortable either.
No, like because I'm 5'7", so like I'm not super tall, but I'm still tall for a girl.
Yep.
So there I am in this, 5 foot tub sideways to make sure my belly is covered and my legs are like up and it was so awkward. But man, I tried to make it work, and then I got to the point where I couldn't breathe anymore, and his dad, I should say, is like, you just need to breathe. I'm like, what the fuck do you think I'm trying to do? Like, fuck you, man. I'll fucking kill you. Like, don't you
Thanks.
just breathe?
Thanks. That
Like,
was great advice.
why didn't I think of that? Fuck. And then I
Duh.
was like, oh yeah, and I was like, I can't breathe. Like, I'm in tears. And he's like, okay, do we need to go to the hospital? I'm like, yep, we do. So he's like, okay, grabs the shit, starts heading for the door. I'm like, 1 minute, run to the bathroom, puke. I'm like,
Oh no.
oh, okay. So I had officially hit that pain level to where I was puking. I was in so much pain. So I'm like, this is fun. Oh my fucking God. So then,
Take it back.
yeah. I'm like, and at that point in time, I'm like, I'm not fucking ready for this. What the fuck was I thinking? I'm ready to be a mom.
It's
Holy
happening.
fuck. And it like literally, it was like right there and it hit me. And I'm like, nope, no, no. Oh my God, what did I do? Like,
I
oh,
feel
like,
like I feel like this is a common theme so far.
yeah.
All moms are like, just kidding. Nope.
Right. Oh yeah. Like I was all totally ready. Like his room was ready, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I can't wait till he comes. No,
Just
stay
kidding.
in there forever.
I'll just incubate you until you're 35.
Yeah, exactly. So we head to the hospital again, and at this point, it's 2 or 3 in the morning, and we go in, and they're like, okay, and I'm like, so, like, thinking they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you're like 5, 6, 7 centimeters dilated. you're 3 centimeters dilated.
No.
And I'm like, huh. Bitch, say what?
Come again?
It's been 12, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, it's been 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, 2 centimeters. I'm like, fuck. She's like, yeah, hon, I'm sorry. You're going to be in long house. And then she's like, we're going to call your doctor. I'm like, okay, cool.
Do
Have
they
fun.
have a magic button?
Yeah. So they call her, talk to her, and they're like, okay, yeah, you're getting sent to Edmonton. And I'm like, mm, fuck. Okay, cool. We get to go to Edmonton. They're like, would you like some morphine? I'm like, Mama raised a bitch. Yes. Stick it in me. I'm like, I don't care. So
Yeah, at that point.
yeah. So then we drive back to the house. I think we didn't even bring the bag at that point in time because we're like, oh fuck, he can, go and grab it, whatever, once we find out what's going on. So then he ran back to the house, ran in, grabbed the bag, and we start heading to Edmonton. We get to Edmonton, it's just around 5:30. They, do their typical where the intake and oh yeah, and it's like, hey, I'm having a baby. Okay, blah blah blah. Your doctor's been in contact with Dr. I don't know, he started with a T of some
Blah,
sort.
blah.
Never met the guy. Like, I have no idea who he is. All I know is that he's the delivery doctor.
Yep.
And then they mentioned that there's a delivery doctor in training. And would it be okay if, and I don't even remember, he, she, maybe assists as well. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, just,
Just get it out.
yeah, this is my priority right now. What you guys do, I don't give a shit. Just, get me in and on a bed. So they
This
do,
is your business.
yeah. And I'm like, so they're doing the intake questions. I can't answer it. They just gave me morphine. And like, me and Anton were together for 4 months before I got knocked up.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's like, and they're asking me questions and he's like looking at me like, I don't know how to answer. And I'm like, I can't fucking answer. I'm in too much pain. And so it was like a long of where the nurses were like looking at me, looking at him, looking at me like, I just need an answer.
Somebody.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck. So I like finally we got like most of the questions answered, whatever, got the epidural like form signed. They put me in a private room because, for $20, I don't know if it's still the same price, you can get a private room. I'm
Nice.
like, yes, I'm not laboring next to some, no.
Take my money.
Because I'll end up with the lady that just sits there and screams the whole time, and I'll like get up and like punch a bitch or something because I'm like, I'm in pain, don't touch my name.
It's not the time.
Yeah, so I got a private room, and then the doctor comes in or whatever to give you the epidural, which is really fun. They give you a pillow, and you get to hunch over it, over your pregnant belly. And then they go, okay, we're going to wait till your next labor pain. And then when it's done, when your contraction is done, we're going to do this, make sure you don't move as you could become paralyzed. Okay.
No problem.
Yep. So it's like, yeah, you have to try and really curve your spine as much as possible, right? To open the space and stuff. And it's like, I'm sitting down. Have a pillow with me too, and a pregnant belly. But sure, I'll just bend like a pretzel.
No problem.
Like I haven't even been shaving my fucking hoo-ha lately because I can't reach it. But yeah, I'll just bend like a pretzel for you right now. Thanks, bud.
No problem. No
Yeah.
problem at all. Fuck.
Yeah. It was so they got it first try, thank God, because I've heard horror stories of people that have had to get poked like 3 times before they got the right spot.
Mm.
At this point in time, my water had not broke yet either. I realize I haven't even mentioned that yet. So yeah, has not broke. I'm just in labor, like just straight labor. So I'm like, cool. This is fun.
This is fun.
Yeah. So then I get the epidural, and I'm all like, woo! Can't feel shit from the waist down. This is okay.
This is better.
Yeah. And then so I remember texting my mom, and I don't know why I didn't just text her and say, get your fucking ass here. But, I'm 21 years old and I'm all like, I'm in Edmonton. My mommy is in Fort St. John. That's a really long drive. I don't want to make her make that drive. What if I have the baby and she's not even here yet? Like, then, why would I make her drive?
Fair.
I still had 12 hours.
Oh, no. She could have got there probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shit, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then at that point, Anton, I think, had left to go get food or something. and he realized that he forgot the car seat.
Oh no.
And I'm like, wait, what?
I guess you have some time.
Yeah, and it's like, what the fuck? But we're like, we're at that point still where we don't know. We don't
That's
know
true.
if it's going to take a long time. So it's already 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right, that's fair.
So I've been in labor for over 12 hours already. So, we're thinking this has gotta, happen soon. Oh, did I mention at this point in time, I am 5 centimeters dilated.
Not I feel like this is like Rachel on Friends. Like I feel like you guys had the
Oh,
similar.
was like, yeah, I was like, am I ever going to actually dilate? Like, am I capable of dilating? Is my cervix just broken?
Is there a medical thing that says you can't dilate? Because I think I
Yeah.
might have that.
Oh, yeah. Like, I got to the point where I was like, am I going to need to have a C-section? Because, what the fuck is going on? Like, so yeah. So,
That's fair.
and then I don't even know it's so funny because like the windows were closed and everything like that. I had an epidural for God knows how many hours. And at some point in time, which is shift change at hospitals, which I don't know what time that is, my water finally breaks.
Ooh,
So
gross.
I'm like,
Further.
sweet. And like I have an epidural, so I'm literally like, I think I felt a sploosh.
I think
I
something's happening.
I don't, I'm not 100% sure, but things kind of feel a little different. So I buzz the nurse, and the nurse, oh my God, I loved her. Like, oh, love her. She was awesome. And she's like, oh yeah, your water broke. And then she mentioned, she's like, darn. She's like, if only it was a little bit sooner. She's like, it's shift change now. She's like, but the lady that's, next, she's great and you'll do awesome and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, bye.
Oh.
I did not like the next lady.
Oh, that always happens. Like, why can't it be the other way around?
Yeah. And like nothing against her or anything, but you know, it was like H1N1 was the whole, big thing in 2009. So all the birthing classes got canceled because the shots and everything, they were all at the hospital and, don't want to get people, the nurses were busy dealing with all that shit and blah, blah, kind of like COVID, but like,
Yeah.
not as dramatic.
Yeah.
Um, So the lady's like, tell me, like, you just need to breathe, blah, blah, blah. Did you not do this? Do you not? And I'm like, looking at her like, no, the fucking classes were all canceled. I didn't get to do this. I don't know how to fucking breathe. And she's like, oh, okay.
You're like,
Kind
but
of looked at
thanks.
me like I was a fucking idiot. And I'm like, don't even like just, I like looked at Anton and I was like, I'm going to fucking kill you for all of this.
I blame you for everything.
Yeah. Suddenly I hate your ever living guts. So then the lady was like, okay, so then she goes through it and like teaches me the proper breathing methods to how to kind of control it. So I was like, I could have used this, 12, 13, 14, whatever hour we're at right now. I'm like, this would have came
Better
in handy.
better late than never, I suppose.
Yeah. So then she's like, yeah, whatever. And I think it was like an hour after that, she checks and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go she gets the fucking stirrups up and I'm like, cool, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, it's like time to go now. And I'm like, okay. Oh, well, wait, I'm gonna have to push now?
Now I have to do something? Fuck.
Oh my fuck. And then all the thoughts of, pushing and like, have like what the fuck is that one where they actually show the kid crowning in the movie? God damn it.
I can't remember. I
But
try to visually block all this stuff out.
yes. So anyways, so then all that goes into my mind and I'm like, oh my God, like, oh my God.
It's happening.
Yeah, I'm like, what the, oh shit. Like, I'm not ready. Like, and there's slowly becomes like more and more people that kind of come in and check my fucking vagina out. And I'm like, I understand now why people that have had kids say, fuck it, I've had kids. I don't even care anymore.
Yeah,
Take a walk.
you're in that moment. You're like, uh-huh, this is it.
Yeah, you're basically, yeah, might as well be a porn star because everyone's fucking looking.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
And you're obviously, it's actually after how many hours now too, just probably feeling like a model on a runway, clearly.
Yeah. So apparently this is roughly, I learned after or whatever, that this is roughly about 5 o'clock in the
Hmm.
evening.
So we're getting
That's
close to 24
yeah,
hours here.
yeah. So about 4:30 ish is when my water broke, and then whatever, and then so she gets me to push. So I do one push and whatever. I can, the contractions, whatever. It's all ready to go. She's like, okay, I'll be right back. So then I am in the stirrups, and I'm all like,
What?
okay.
Where'd you
She
go?
she walks away, and I literally was just like followed her, and I'm like, then I look at Anton, and I'm like, what do I do? And he looks at me like, I don't know.
How the fuck would I know?
Yeah. I'm like, fuck. Oh my God. I regret everything. Like, oh my God. Like, and I'm like, well, what if I get a contraction? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, do I push? I don't know. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just asking questions. Like, I don't even care that you're saying I don't know. I'm just asking random questions. And I can't remember. I like just spouted off random question. He just kept looking at me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Cool.
Great.
Back. I think one of them was a doctor.
Then maybe we're not sure. It's out for lunch.
But I don't know if it was like the actual doctor or if it was the training doctor. I still don't know who I actually birthed my son.
No.
So, anyways, they all come. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're ready to push. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. So I, start pushing and whatnot. And then I tear and then they freeze me and then they cut me. Heartbeat's all good. Everything's going good. They're like, yeah, this is awesome. You're doing great. I'm getting to roughly the last 3 pushes that I had, and I was fucking done. It hurt. I was ready to give up, and they're like, one more, one more. So yeah, he comes out not fully breathing.
Oh man.
So within 5 minutes, hit 5 to 10 minutes. I think it was about 5 minutes. It went from his heartbeat was strong, whatever, to it's a little bit panicked and whatever, and then they get him out, and he's not breathing correctly. So whatever happens, like 4 or 5 people run into the room, walk into the room like quite quickly. And, doctor lifts him up and is all like, oh, it's a boy, he's not breathing very good, whatever. We're going to take care of this. And then he grabs the scissors and he looks at Anton and he's like, you going to do the honors? He goes, I'm not even sure if it was green or white, but it was a mixture of green and white. Looked like he was going to either faint or puke. And I'm like, nope. Because to be perfectly honest, I didn't fucking want him to do it anyways. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's
no,
fair.
I didn't like him. The only reason
Yeah.
I was still with him was because he fucking knocked me up.
Yeah.
So like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
But even more so, it just pissed me off because he had always, had made comments about how it's gross that something's growing inside me. So I was like, fuck you.
Yeah. You don't get this moment.
Yeah, no, you were just here to hold my hand while I pushed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Totally.
Yeah. So then, yeah, they take him. The people are all dealing with him, and they're stitching me up. And I'm like, what's going on with him? Oh, he's fine. But there's like a lot of people. It's fine, stitch. Just motherfucker. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm paying attention to you guys because you're hurting me. And I'm all like, but my baby, but ow, my vagina.
Yeah.
And then so they finally give him to me for a little bit, and his breathing was delayed, which I learned, and not from being at the hospital, but I learned later on that apparently if you don't have a long pushing time, like your actual pushing is really short, that it doesn't give them enough time to clear their lungs and stuff out.
Ah, that would make sense. Yep.
So that's why the delayed breathing, and it's more common for shorter pushing times. And I'm like, well, that's good to know because I literally found that out this year.
That would have been nice to know before, but
Yep.
we're learning now.
Yep. Oh yeah, like it was ridiculous because yeah, they stitch me up, they whatever, they take me to my other private room. Apparently you get two private there's a labor room and then there's a regular room or something. Or maybe they just moved the bed around. I don't even know. I just gave birth. I didn't know what the fuck was
It's not
going on.
important.
Yeah. So they get me into the room, whatever, they take care of me. And then they're like, okay, you can go see your baby now. I'm like, where is it?
Where is it? Give it to
Yeah.
me. I
So at
made
this
this.
point, Anton had went down with them. He had taken a couple pictures of Adam. And then it was like, oh, fuck, we don't have a car seat. We can't go home tomorrow without the car seat. So he heads home. Poor guy. Because I'm pretty sure, I don't even remember if he slept. Like, I don't. What he did, I literally blocked it out, I've realized.
That's fair. I don't think you got to sleep either. So I think that, and
Oh,
he
I
just pushed a
know.
baby
I
out.
didn't
So
sleep. I did not sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was so nervous and freaked out and overthinking everything.
Oh, for sure. Your brain is
But I
like,
didn't sleep.
no,
Yeah. So,
you're never sleeping again right now.
oh fuck, I didn't sleep for 7 years.
And how how big was he?
Oh, what the hell? Corona. Um,
Yeah.
he was 5 pounds 7 ounces,
Ooh, little baby.
right? But he was 20, I want to say 25 and 23. I don't know, it's 20 between 23 and 25 inches because they always measure him right when they're born,
Yeah.
and then they measure him again right before you leave because they shrink,
Oh. Oh,
right? Who knew,
that's
right?
so
Because they're getting pulled out
crazy.
apparently. Yeah, I know. I didn't know that either, but they'll actually shrink and they lose a little bit of weight and stuff like that too. But they can't lose too much weight. And he was a jerk and he wouldn't latch.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that was fun. And there's me being too self-conscious after the bitch that decided to make a comment. Stop it. Speak of the devil. Making the comment about, how why didn't I get my kids sooner? It's like, are you fucking kidding me? I walked up to the NICU, stitched up, walking with my little IV bag all the way up to the NICU, all the way. And this is at the Royal Alexander. So it's a big hospital.
Yeah, it's huge.
I feel like it took me at least half an hour.
Yeah,
And
totally.
another half an hour to get down and get to the actual room and get my baby and then, waddle him back to the fucking room and then try and feed him. And then he wouldn't want to eat because he was too hungry. And I'm like, here I am feeling like a bag of shit. Like, I'm already fucking up as a mom. Like, holy fuck. And I wonder why I didn't want any more kids after that.
Well, and already like you're so young, like, not like that, but you weren't, and like you said, you didn't go through classes to learn like that and how you were going to emotionally feel right after either too, right? And to know that that's it happens, and it's not unnormal. It's not like at 21 you had 50 friends with kids, right? So it's a
Yeah,
very,
no, all my friends were in school, in college.
yeah, exactly. So it's not like, that's it's very fair for you to have all those reactions without, you know, without knowing any of that stuff or being in an environment where you would.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was so like, and I was still very shy at that point in time. So it was hard. And like, luckily, the nurse that like was in there with me was really good, and she kind of she helped me. She like because we had formula, and we'd get him to like drink a little bit of formula, which it was like a little syringe or whatever, like you give like little babies medicine with, and you're like
Yep.
just slowly getting putting that in, and then he'd get hungry enough, and then he latched that night.
Yay. Oh,
So it was like,
good.
awesome, yay, whatever. And they weighed him and he hadn't lost, too much weight. He was doing good. He's sleeping, blah, blah, blah. So then we get him home and I'm still having issues latching. I couldn't figure out what to do. But luckily the nurse comes the next day. And I think my mom was there and my auntie was there. So they're all helping up too, feeding him the formula. And as I'm struggling to try and, feed this baby that's being a dickhead and not feeding. Like,
Like, why don't you listen yet? What?
yeah, and it's like, oh my God. And there I am still like, oh my God, I'm stuck as a mom. What did I do? Why did I think I could handle this?
Oh,
And
totally.
yeah, so the nurse comes, makes my dog puke because I don't know why I laugh about this, but I had a cane corso pit bull and people would cross the street when they saw her
Oh,
because they were terrified of her. This dog literally played with a Yorkie with a broken leg, would just
oh,
lay on the ground and let the dog jump over her.
just little a soft angel.
Yes, this dog I had also was at the point where she had so many issues with her that I had actually trained her to go to the back door when she had to puke, the
Oh
same
no.
as if she had to piss or shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So there's, the nurse, they close the door because they're not sure how she's going to react, right? Like she's like 3 or 4 years old, big, big dog, right?
yeah, yeah,
So like, we're not fucking around with this, right? Because,
yeah.
we know the baby's going to cry and she's going to be checking stuff out and whatnot. So she takes Adam's blood, which they poke the bottom of their foot, and the baby screams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So made my dog get sick. She was so
Oh no.
worried. that my auntie actually had to boot her outside so she didn't puke in the house.
Oh my goodness, because she was so like protective already.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And both yeah. So it was like, oh, that was the cutest thing ever. But then the lady actually starts talking to me and like we're talking about how he's not really latching. And she's like, oh, have you ever tried the football method? And I'm like, what the fuck is the football method? Like, I don't want to think about my baby like a football.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah. So she shows me and it's literally almost like holding a football. A
interesting.
7.5 pound, 23-inch football.
Yeah, long one.
Yes, typically. Yeah. And it was like he finally latched. And it was just like all that like self-doubt and like what the fuck it was like it just finally went away and I was like okay, my baby is feeding, which at that point in time I was still like, oh, but is he gonna?
Yeah. Oh, fair. Like, is it too
Yeah.
good to be true?
Yes, so it worked out and whatever, everything was good after that, but holy fuck, yeah, you want to talk about so much self-doubt, that whole friggin' labor and the way I got treated by so many of them, and the fact that I still don't know the doctor that literally delivered my baby because they never did tell me.
It's wild how we continue these shows and we hear the same thing. And that was the same thing through all of your episodes, is how the doctors have,
Doctors.
yeah, nurses, all of them, like healthcare professionals. This is really unfortunate that people keep running in. Like, where I wish we could compile a list of all the like all-star ones and people could put like rave reviews. Is that out there somewhere?
I wonder. There's gotta be, right?
Got to be like an MD accountability here or something like that.
Luckily, I knew. Like my doctor had told me that, like for complications or anything like that, like Royal Alec is an amazing place to be, right? Because they've got the NICU right there.
True.
So
You felt at
that
least you're
part,
in the right hands.
yeah. So that part
Totally.
was amazing, especially with the fact that he wasn't breathing properly for however long it took him. He was only like the nurse actually told me when I got up to the NICU. Oh, he was only here for about 5 to 10 minutes, actually.
Oh, that's not as bad then.
I'm like, that's cool.
Why are you shaming me?
My baby.
Give me my baby now. I made it. I want it.
I'm like, what the hell? God damn it. I walked up a ramp for nothing. But
So
the
going,
Royal Alec, you are a number.
yeah, and that's so unfortunate. I love the ones, and that's why I think good nurses are so important to love,
Oh,
and like the technicians and all those. Like, it's not just doctors. Like, to me, there's a lot, and always has been. It's the whole team of health practitioners, and they're really the kindest. I find are the ones that are doing your ultrasound. Not that I've been through it, but like I've been through ultrasounds, but um,
you
those
know what? Ultrasound techs have been probably the best people to deal with.
totally.
Like
I feel
those
like
women are amazing.
yeah, and then it's like, and then sometimes obviously you have your hard nurses, but that's like it's like there are nurses that do care for not all of them, but like you said, the one that you had before was just amazing, right? And
Yeah.
it's like I can understand, why people have good experiences and bad experiences in the sense of even just the people that they have in their care, which is something you can't obviously change all the time or control. But if you, let's say, I know you're done, but if you were to go back and to do it again, is there anything obviously we could always do that. But is there anything different you do or anybody going through maybe the same situation that you could give them a piece of advice for to make it a bit easier for them going through that at a younger age or in same situation?
Um, See, it's hard because like I was so young, I didn't have a voice. I'm always gonna say, voice your opinions and fight for what you believe in. Like that's a definite stand up for yourself.
Always, yeah,
'Cause that is
totally.
definitely like my child, his name is like I wanted to have his middle name have Michael in it because of my great grandpa. I'm the only one that met my great grandpa out of all the great grandchildren. So
Aw,
that is like a special thing. Like, and I was a baby when I met him. Like he passed away before my cousin was even born. Like there's pictures of me in the hospital. So I was like, I want my kid to have that name.
yeah,
And he fought me on it. And I was such a pushover at the time that I just didn't, he said no. And I was like, okay,
it was just easier.
yes, which I hate how his middle name doesn't have it. I still call him his middle name. Still use Michael in his middle name, but it's one of
Yeah.
those things I really wish I would have fought for. Is like I pushed this motherfucking baby out.
I want.
I would just say in this fucking kid's name, like you
Yeah,
know, like, and
yeah.
he's literally the mini boy version of me.
Aw, that's so
Like,
awesome. Well,
yeah,
you know what? Change it now then.
right? Oh yeah, and it's funny because I asked his dad, and he's like, I wouldn't have cared. I'm like, that's
But
just because you have two other kids now, you
yeah,
jerk.
at the time though, it was a thing. So I mean, Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think that is, again, a common theme, like using your voice and standing up because you are the mom. And you, even though in those moments, all your hormones and everything, because you're coming through all these new experiences, your brain is going to tell you that you don't know what you're doing. You're not,
Yep.
and post traumatic, or not post traumatic, but postpartum depression is a huge thing. Even if you have it on a small scale, most moms will say the first 48 hours, I was like, no, this is stupid. I want to bring it back. Like, you don't have to feel, nobody has to feel alone or ashamed in that. You're going to have those feelings, but at least know when they come up to be able to address them and aware of it, or have someone around you be like, yo, no, it's okay, like this is normal. And I think use your voice to ask for help and stand up for yourself, and do what's best for you, because you are the fucking house of that incubating baby, and you're the one pushing it out.
Yep,
You're
exactly.
the one that solely, yes, dads are responsible and sometimes mom bail for sure. Not
Oh yeah.
discrediting that. But that being said, I think as a woman, if you're taking on a pregnancy and a baby, unfortunately, you it's for the most part, you have to know you might be doing that on your own. And that's a big, thing. So if that's something that you want, fucking push back for it. Don't shrink for it. Like, stand
Yep.
up.
Well, yeah, that's your child.
Yeah, and it's fair for you. So
Yep.
you would still, I think I still would want a C-section. I don't know why.
You know what?
You guys freak me out. I think that's what it was. Now it's just like, can you just, I'm waiting for the stork. I really am.
Yeah, see, they give you this lovely bottle that you put warm water in for when you have to pee or do anything.
Hmm.
That is like a godsend after.
That does sound nice.
Um, I don't know. My big thing, like, praise any woman that gets a C-section, and especially with the bullshit like they go through with people trying to tell them that they didn't actually give birth. Fuck you, it came out of your body. It's a fucking birth.
Yeah, I
Um,
just laugh at people, honestly. I'm
is
just like,
just
hey,
like,
cool.
yeah, is
Want to compare
I
vagina?
would,
I'm kidding.
I'm that person that I can't handle feeling useless, and with a C-section because you can't pick your baby up.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff that you can't do. For
Yeah.
me, I mentally could not have handled it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
That
totally
would have been me get like because I never really I can't say I never noticed any postpartum after.
Oh, good.
I'm very, very lucky. Like I was not an emotional person really then. Like I'm
You're
not
pretty
really now
straight.
either, but
Yeah.
like even like for like, um words, fuck my
No,
life.
yeah, just, well, with life, I
For
think
my period,
everything.
right? Like PMS, I would
Yeah.
not like I was never emotional. Like no one ever knew.
Yeah, you had your shit, but you never like let it
Yeah.
loose. Like, you just kept it inside and you dealt with it. And I think you have been dealing with that and doing that, and
Yeah.
like compartmentalizing your life and just being like, it is what it is, instead of
Yeah.
letting it like word vomit
Yeah.
out of your mouth. I go back and forth. Depends
I
on
do
what
too now,
personality
actually.
is present. What time of
Yeah.
my cycle am I at? Where, those are real things.
Yeah. But yeah,
And
no,
it was such
I
a
think
success for you.
yeah.
Like, after it was done,
No.
we're done. We got it. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And they're like, I'm done now. And I love when people, I love your answer when people are like, oh, you having another? You're like, fuck off. I'm almost free.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? I have an 11-year-old child.
Yeah.
Like I literally would be a new mom again. Like I have a friend that her kid's the same age as my kid.
Yeah.
They're like a couple months apart. She just had a baby. And so I'm always
Totally
like,
different.
so how is it? And she's like, it's totally different. She had a girl the first time. She has a boy this time. She's like, it's totally different. She's like, like you don't realize when you have a boy, the poop gets everywhere. Behind the balls, on top of the balls, around the balls, up their back. It's everywhere.
Truth. Somehow in their feet out of nowhere.
Yeah.
How
Oh,
did you
it's
do that?
yeah.
How'd you do that?
Yeah. So it's like
And
if
different
I could have
times,
another
right?
kid, I would totally, but I think for the most part I would probably do it like I did this time and just kind of
Be
go
ready, but not
willy-nilly.
too prepared. Be
Yeah,
open. Be,
because I am
you're
kind
emotionally
of
prepared.
yes, and I kind of am that person that I just kind of go with the flow.
Totally. And that it kind of makes it easier so that when things don't go right, you're not over panicking about that kind of stuff, which is amazing.
And
It's
I
a
think that might be why I'm like that.
yeah, survival tactic. I know, I'm like, do I do these things and it's a good thing, or do I do these things and it's probably not the best, but I'm telling myself it's a good thing? We're not sure. The jury's out on that one. We'll get back to that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's so awesome. Thank you so much again, girl, for jumping on for your third show. I love the final chapter, and now you have an 11-year-old, and it's so great, you guys. Like you said, he's your mini you. Everything panned out. It's something that you got to experience, which you weren't 100% sure you were going to. You got to do it naturally, like you wanted to. You were able to get the epidural, even though it was a hard 24 hours. It paid off for the rest of your life with
It was
that
so
little
worth it.
angel. Angel best friend. Yeah, your angel best friend of yours. And I just love that. So thank you again so much for joining us, bringing us your story. I'm sure I'm going to loop you into something else either next month or the month after that.
I can't wait. I enjoy these shows and I love being a guest on it.
Oh, it's the greatest. Well, thank you again so much, girl. And we are going to jump on to our third guest of the show.